Right, we're back with the Chris and Ryan show. Today we're joined by with the beautiful Mckayley. How's it going?
I'm good, thank you, gentlemen. Very good, thank you. Good. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So, to give everyone a little bit of background, Mckayley is the owner of Civerinos pizza brand, High Dive, Chevrino Slice, and there's two more coming in Portobello and Christopherson. So exciting times, and I'm sure there's a lot more to you than just pizza.
I hope so.
We'll go right back to the start, childhood, and what that was like growing up, where you grew up, and a little brief history of Mckayley.
Yeah. Okay, so I am 43 now. I grew up initially in Livingston in West Lothian, and then at Bathgate, Whitburn, and then all around the world, and then landed up back in Edinburgh about 17 years ago. So initially I grew up in Livingston, Italian parents, went to school there. It's like, looking back, it's like not rough, it's just like one of those like working class, like Scottish communities. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, overspill from the big cities, they just try to find themselves. There's lots of school, there's lots of fucking bigotry and all that shit. Especially as the further west you go, there's all Catholic schools and Protestant schools. And all that. So I grew up there, and then I moved to Bathgate. I finished school. Was absolutely fucking useless. Like, didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, everybody was going to university and stuff, and I was going to go to university, but I had no fucking clue what to do. So I actually went to like went to stay at university for the weekend, and never felt so like left out, different, like fucking just not like, it was just like, there's all these like fucking kids, my peers, that knew exactly what they wanted to do, or at least fucking at that stage in their life. So I dropped out instantly, because I just it just wasn't for me, and it wasn't for me just because I wasn't ready.
Dropped out of high school or dropped out of uni?
Both. Just fucking dropped out the fucking the school system and everything. Yeah. Got a job on a building site for the first couple of years, and developed like a solid work ethic. Like, do you know what I mean? I was working with concrete and shit. And then I got a job in an office, and then I got a job, and like I went to night school. I just literally fucked about. Like, I think from like 16, if you're not like, you're not like if you've not got a plan, like I want to be a fucking dinosaur, fucking bone excavator, or I want to be this, or I want to be that. If you don't got a plan, it's fucking hard. Like, it's just like, so you just fall into that kind of thing you're brought up to, especially I think in Scottish, you just fucking work all week and bevy your fucking wages away all weekend and stuff, and just get stuck in that rut. So I was in that. Yeah, and I was in that for years. Not years, but I was thinking about it. And, the world was moving and I wasn't. It was so. And I think,
what year was this?
This like, so from 16 until about 22,
so
23.
Mid-90s at this point.
Aye. Yeah. Oh yes, it was mid-90s. So so I was literally just working, not dead end jobs, like I was fucking, but they were. And I was going to raves at the weekend, and just living the party, but it was going nowhere. It was just a cycle. And then about after that, as I said, just kept on going. Like, it was a cycle. I could see it. I knew that I was kind of destined for more. And not like kind of fucking like I'm too big, like I'm too good for this shit. Like I just knew, like I had dreams, hopes, and aspirations, but you get caught in these cycles. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like and again, it's just, I call it toxic, and it is a bit. Like you fucking you work hard till 5 o'clock on a Friday, and then it's like and then it's
2 days off.
Yeah, and then it's and then it's thing, and you want to fucking cry yourself to death the first 2 days of the week, and you're just in the cycle. So eventually, I broke it, and I went traveling. And so I just ditched everything, my house, my fucking car, everything, and I went travelling, and I kind of just like travelled the world. And what I did to travel the world was wait tables, because I fucking couldn't do anything else. Like I had no fucking skill set and nothing, but a solid fucking work ethic, moderately good chat.
Moderately good chat.
Moderately good chat, and yes, a decent work ethic. So I started waiting tables, London, New York, Greece.
And is this you just applying for jobs?
This was me
just travelling, no plan,
just turning up. And it was really strange, because like leaving from like that little kind of town in the middle of fucking buttfuck nowhere, Scotland, and then like going somewhere and reinventing yourself as a waiter. I didn't fucking like, especially when I grew up, like wait, like people were doing fuck all, but being a waiter was like the fucking lowest, and like thing. And I was like, so this is what I need to do to make money to go, to enjoy these places that I went. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like, I was meeting people, I was meeting girls, I was fucking making money, I was learning this industry. Like, I was just like fucking restaurants, my whole family, like sort of restaurants and fast food and stuff, but I was always kind of thinking away from it. And all of a sudden, we wait tables in London or Australia and everything, and you're meeting people, and like, in the industry, it just opens up cities like nothing else. You know what I mean? You could go to a city and never see a student, but if you're fucking working hospitality in any city, it's just like the back door's open and the kitchen party's on. It's just fucking, it's just, So I did that.
Do you remember the day that you realised that you wanted to travel? Was it a realisation, or was it just a process?
Do you know what? I think it was just the universe. It was just like it was happening. It just happened. Like, it was just like everything was winding up to this point. And eventually, I just fucking left. And and it was like, everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, you've got a job, you've got a car, everything. There's this stability, and I was like, this is your, this isn't, still doesn't.
That's your picture of what everything.
It's not. This isn't a jacket that fits me. And again, I never thought that was better than anything else. I just thought there was an itch that I need to scratch. So, so I did that for like fucking years. We're doing it, and as I said, like. It was the way I kind of introduce myself to these cities and find out just fucking what's going on in the subcultures and everything, all that sort of stuff that really interests me, like fucking music, street culture, fucking art, everything. That was my in every place I went. So I worked like that. Went back to London, did it more in London, and then eventually ended up back in Edinburgh, like 2003. Got a job with Mckayley's, like managing like Indigo Yard and like. Doing other bits and pieces for them. So I met Big Al, and a lot of people in this community that I still fucking roll with today, like worked for them back in at that point. It was like they were the biggest thing, Opal Lounge, all these things, and did that, and then went from there, opened 99 Hanover Street with a couple of friends, 2006. Did that for a few years.
How did you manage to do that?
Fuck knows. It was like really strange. It was just, it was a small budget. I opened at like £9,000-10,000 and
like proper small budget, yeah.
It wasn't like they got the lease. These guys got the lease in this place, and we built it up. And then I walked around Edinburgh, because this is before social media. This is 2005, 2006. Went round to Edinburgh, and I just like fucking got went to Excel, went to fucking Crew, and and I literally got all the people that would talk about it, and just give them like fucking discount passes. And then put on like Yogi or Ricky Reed or a couple other DJs on a Friday afternoon at 4:00. Nobody was doing that at the time. And then we'd fucking fill out all these kind of retail and kind of like people that kind of like lived and worked in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And then fucking locked the doors. So then all these like, at that time there was like a big after work drink culture in Edinburgh, places like Grand Cru and fucking Rick's and all that. And this place, fucking 9 was like fucking bursting at the seams at like 5:00. People dancing at the tables and nobody could get in because I'd literally just filmed it so early, and we just like, so we did that, we just built up the hype, and then it just exploded. It just became
amazing,
the most successful bar in Edinburgh at that time, but very different. Everywhere else was like, at the time was really fucking, I think it was around about the same time as like Tiger Lily and a few other places open. So at the time, the style was like fucking glam and things. And this place was fucking brutal. all the furniture was borrowed. There was like spray painted curtains. It wasn't, it wasn't even trying to be cool. It was just like sort of ramshackle kind of boho. And it worked. So I did that for a few years, and then, about 2013, 14, opened up a few other places in the interim, and then about 2013, 14, decided that I saw the move from bar culture thingy into like food, as a culture we're changing, especially Scottish people. I always look at like Scottish society, because like that's where I am and where I live, and we get this fucking hard, this kind of hard time of quite toxic culture with drink, drugs, and everything, and we kind of revel in, and it was interesting about 2013, 14 to see we're kind of moving to foodie, things like Jamie Oliver and other things, I was just, people were like, and then places like Ting Tai opened, and people are really interested in food. All of a sudden, people aren't going out drinking after work as much. They're going out eating. They're still bevying, but they're having fucking tacos and boxes and fucking thing. And I saw that, and I was like, that really fucking, that energized me. I was like, this is fucking cool, and this is good for us, as a community, and like eating doesn't have to be fucking fine dining white tablecloths. You can still go like really high end, but it doesn't. So that's where the concept for Chevrinos came up, and I got this lease on the place in Hunter Square, and I developed this thing. It was initially like, you know, it was like an Italian restaurant, but it was an Italian restaurant for me and my friends. It was an Italian restaurant because I'm like first generation Italian, but I fucking love hip hop and fucking other things. Yeah, I don't like fucking like, you know, like the kind of British version of Italian restaurants with the white shirts and fucking, and I wanted to do it like my take on it. And that was just like the fucking music. You know, you're gonna listen to fucking Biggie or AC/DC or fucking like, you know, and you know, it's just gonna visually be a little bit different. But the recipes are like my fucking nonnas, and like mine. There's like things I picked up on my travels around the world, and the execution is a little bit, but the service is just, you know. So it was like mine for me and my friends, and I'm always my target demographic. Like this, like, so that was, you know, this is like, you know. Slice is like me when I was young and I used to skate in Bristol Square. You know, this would have been the student bar I would have went to if I went to university. you know. So and then so we did that. And then for the first fucking 6 months, year, as I said, we started with no money. Again, I specialised in that, and we built it from nothing. And for the first 6 months, I cleaned the toilets in the morning, I fucking did the prep in the kitchen, I fucking cleaned the restaurant, I waited the tables, blah, blah, blah. And then we just built it up. And after about 6 months, we got like listed like top 10 pizza restaurants in the world, and then top 3 in the UK. And I was like, fuck, we're not even a pizza restaurant. Like, I was like, the pizza's part of it, but that's not who we're at. Like, but I was like, fuck it, like, I'll take it. So and it just kind of blew up from there. And then we decided, you know, like on the back of that, like, I love the south. Like, this is my side of the city. Like, I've lived on and off of this side of the city for like 10 years before I moved to Pori, and like, I love this side of the city. I love the buzz that the students give it. Like, I love that it's not fucking the new town in George Street. Not that I've got anything against it, but I always just like that fucking, you know, there's Leith, there's Newton, there's up here, and I always got a little buzz around here. Do you know what I mean? Because it's quite, you know, there's so many different things going on, and different, you know, there's the students, and the students, lots of different faces and races and cuisines and super. And again, it's just a different little kind of
sort of a big cultural hub, isn't
it?
Yeah,
just a little kind of mini eco fucking culture within the city, and it's just always appealed to me because I've never spent much time down Leith, but I know this area, and this is mine. This is my hood. And, you know, so when the thing, and, you know, I used to eat a lot in like Ting Tai and a little like Spanish restaurant on Forest Road, and hang out in the meadows and drinking, like, you know, whatever party up here. So when Forest Road came about, I just jumped on it, you know, and it's like my favourite part of the city. It's my and we did that, and then here we are. So it's just been this like natural progression. Like I know what I'm into. I know what I fucking like. Like, I really don't, and that's always, you're always going to see that in anything I do. And I develop those, you know, those tastes and skills over my years of just fucking about. Like, I'm not going to say that there was a strategy to me leaving, and, you know, I'm going to fucking put my backpack, and it happened. I started off that fucking journey with a solid work ethic. Like, I did fucking know that you put me in fucking anything, I'll be the best fucker that does that. Like, do you know what I mean? But in terms of skill sets, I had to fucking develop them. I'm still developing them now. You know, that's my journey. You know, it's like, I want to be the best at everything I do. Now at 43 years old, I'm still figuring out, I need to fucking learn that. I want to do that. I still challenge myself, you know, because I fucking learned to become a restaurateur. It didn't come natural to me. I learned to become a businessman. It didn't come natural to me. Like, I've had to finesse those skills and a whole bunch of other ones over the years, but just starting with a small, you know, like, thing of, you know, and again, my first things were my work ethic, my fucking can-do attitude. That was just the way I was brought up, and then from there, it's got me. There's been no luck, and maybe there is now. There's been no luck. There's been no fucking help. Like, it's proper, you know, fucking self-made shit. Nobody's fucking helped me, and that's not to say that's a bad thing. That's just where I came from. The background I came from, there wasn't a fucking step up. But the only thing is, you know, you make your own luck. You fucking, you know, you open your own doors. You've got to be a fucking pest. Like what they say, shy kids get fuck all. Like, you know, that's my attitude. You know, you've got to be like in this and that. That's kind of how I've got here. And that's it, really. And here we are now. Fucking 23rd of December. COVID. Closed pub. Sat with you two drinking a smoothie.
Something I'm interested in is, how do you go from being a waiter travelling the world to deciding to open somewhere up with mates? How did that conversation happen?
Opening doors. So, like, you know, at that, you know, so you go from waiting tables, you get into management, you learn the business, you start interacting with other people. And at that time, at that time, there's a whole bunch of people working from Mckayley's that actually went into their own thing. The guys that own Bramble and Lucky Liquor and that, they were like bartenders and Ricks and stuff, like all at this time. Like there was all these different people. So, and one of the other managers that I worked with was like, I want to open my own place. I can and I was like, I'm in. Like, just let's do it. And that was just, you put yourself in those.
Suppose what do you have to lose?
Exactly, but you put yourself in those situations. Like you put yourself in situations where bad shit can happen to you.
Yeah.
You can also put yourself in situations that are like-minded people, but good things can happen as well. It can work both ways. Right place at the right time, right people, right energy. People are going to come to you and offer you things if they think you're going to bring something to the table. Do you know what I mean? That's just all about the energy and the fucking, whatever attitude you put out in the universe. So that's probably how. And then just things, it turns into
it's kind of like the law of attraction, isn't it? You attracted the energy that you were giving out in the first place.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's in every, you get, I've kind of looked into that more and more as I get older, like manifesting on things, manifesting the right things.
Manifesting tier 2.
Manifesting beer gardens. Yeah, no, but seriously, I think you can over, but I think it's a lot of it is about energy and just and how you conduct yourself and put it out there. So yeah, that's how.
And going back to not going back, but going forward from that to opening up the first Cheverinos, did you have any? Like, was that just something you thought that this is something I just need to do? Or was
it was like I looking back, I'm surprised we're fucking here right now because it was I was like, yeah, we're gonna it's gonna be this, and visually I had it, but the menu, I was like, I was writing the menu the day before we opened and stuff, and I was like employing shit, and I was like, hey, you're gonna cook it like there, and you have to believe. Like, there was so much belief in myself that it was never gonna fail. But looking back, I'm fucking surprised it survived. But that initial stage, and that's when I always tell people, I'm going to open my own restaurant. I was like, right, fucking, like, you sure? You got the money. Like, I did it with no money. That's my skill set. I fucking, as I said, I called in favors. I fucking stacked up debt. Like, just it would be. But anybody that comes to me and goes, I've got fucking X amount of money. I'd like to open a bar restaurant. It's like, just burn the money. It'll fucking go faster. Like, you'll get more enjoyment out of it. And but going back to that, I think because we started off with nothing, we had to hustle a little bit harder, and because I'm in the industry in Edinburgh for so many years, like my plumber was like, I fucking do the work for you and you just pay me after your first festival. The Tyler was the same. Like that was Edinburgh. That was amazing. Edinburgh. That was Edinburgh talking to me. Like, do you know what I mean? That was fucking that was thousands of pounds, and they were like, believe in you. Good cunt. well, just pay us after your first festival. That's fucking that helped. That's putting a good energy. That's like fucking looking after people, or just respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just putting it in, and that's probably the only reason we're here now, because there's certain few people that were just like, we'll just do it and come back later. Like, you don't get that often, and I've tried to return that since then to different people when people are kind of getting off in different situations, because it was the catalyst for me to just fucking beat the odds at that time. Love that shit.
But the only reason that happened is because of the years before that you've been sent to these people.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's the energy that's coming back.
So you reap what you sow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's an actionable thing to take away. Be a good cunt.
Just be a good cunt.
So what's the next part for you coming up into this Christoph and you're opening up and then Portobello? Are you going to go global?
So we were going to open in Glasgow before. So we had a property in Glasgow just before lockdown, and I was going to take it to Glasgow. My family were originally from Glasgow after after Italy, and it's always, I used to party in Glasgow when I was a teenager, and it's just always held as a very special place for me. I feel like I'm not fucking successful. I felt like I wasn't really successful if I hadn't conquered Glasgow. So we had this site, and this came about, and it fell through, and it's just not happening. So right now, my focus is on sewn up Edinburgh. When I say sewn up Edinburgh, I mean I want to be, I don't want, we're not going to be the young cool brand forever. I want to be the brand. So in 10 years time, 20 years time, my kids, your kids, other people, this is where we go after football training. This is where we go after yoga. This is where we go after the gym. This is where we go on a date. This is where I always go on my birthday. We're going to be synonymous with fucking good values, good quality, and it's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah,
it's going to be and my dream is those New York fucking city pizza. If you've ever been, there's places that are just 70, 80 years old that people go to. It's generational. I want to start that legacy. And then, to be honest, once those two are done, I'm going to spend more time with my kids. I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old that I need, like that, that need a bit of me as well. And I want to do that. That's kind of like the next thing I want to do is like really fucking get on top of the parenting shit, because my wife, love you, is just nailing the parenting. Like, all through lockdown, everybody else would fucking furlough them into lockdown. I worked every day from March until now. She homeschooled the kids. So, I want to get back into home life a little bit. But I've got a couple of just boxes to tick first.
Yeah.
And again, it's not ego. It's not thing. I just think it's the right thing for the brand. Like, I only put in Christophin because during lockdown I'd go to Slice on a Friday night. But it was the only place that was open. We're going to Friday night, and the queue's like all the way down to the gates of Harriet's. And me and my son would go up for like a pack of stickers and just go like, "Thank you for waiting. Thanks for coming and supporting us. Where are you from?" They're like, "Kirkliston, Fife, Winchborough, fucking Curry," and we're like that. I'm like, thanks. Like, have a sticker. I'm like, thanks. I'm like, fucking hell, there's just like so many people on that side of the city.
And it's a late night thing as well, isn't it? I'm forgetting that it's open. It's not a normal pizza.
So it just showed there was like people on that, what lockdown showed me and showed a lot of people was that, we all fucking love the city centre. I mean, when you live here, you fucking buzz off it and you eat well, you drink a good coffee and you get your smoothie and that. And eventually you get to settle down. Not a lot of us can afford to live in a city centre. It's fucking expensive. So we leave. So we go to the suburbs, Christoph and Portport. And all of a sudden, you get your bigger house, you get your, but you lose that city centre quality of food and drink. Which that's what we're all into just now. We're all foodies. We're all fucking aspirational. Like, what we eat and drink shows who we are as a consumer and how we live. And it's all part, and it fucking ties in with Instagram and all that shit. Ultimately, but people are leaving the city centre. They're losing the kind of city centre quality of thing, and that's why they were coming in. I was like, let's connect to the suburbs. Fucking cheaper rent. Like, there's tons of people there. They know the brand. Let's just fucking give it to them. So that was the kind of journey. Yeah. And that was the thought process. So yeah.
I know you're still running everything yourself. There's no like investment. It's all just
me.
That's really impressive.
So on that, it's fucking hard. So if you can get like nobody would fucking invest in me. That's and that's always going to be the problem. So that's fine. So we did it ourselves, and we built one up. Got like, this is going to be all right, and then fucking like splash on the next, and we skint for another year. Like, do you know what I mean? We've just been on this journey that's just like that, and it's honest. It's fucking hard work, and it's a bit of a gamble. So it's like being at the it's being at the fucking table. You're like, I won. I should walk away, and then bet it all in fucking red again or something. Yeah. But that's So we're still
independent.
Independent. Yeah. But I mean, the people we have been approached now, and there's now massive opportunities for investment. People want to take like franchise it, and we've built something quite special. So that is on the horizon as well, but we're just navigating that because it's not something I know a lot about, or I don't know if I want to do it yet. But right now I've got myself, I've got an area manager, I've got an ops manager, we're just about to recruit an exec chef, I've got general managers, I've got like a whole family of staff that have been with me for quite a long time, and we're just, it's kind of our journey. We're all doing it. They buzz to work for it. I'm not the easiest person to work for, but I try to be. And it's about, initially, we went to lockdown, it was about looking after everybody and protecting jobs. We've done that. We've actually created more jobs. But now we're just trying to solidify it and just make sure it's, yeah.
How many people across all the brands have you got?
About 80.
About a lot of people in, just to give people an idea.
80, yeah, part-time. And I know we employ, like in regular times, we employ a lot of students as well. So people come, I'm going to do investment banking, or I'm going to be a lawyer, and they work for me for 2 years. They're like, I want to be a restaurateur. In a jacket, I want to be a nightclub DJ. I'm like, what the fucking stop? Hold up. So we employ a lot, and we, they'll become friends. They'll be other people, and what's really cool about working in a city like Edinburgh is a lot. These kids come through university and they leave. They work for you for a few years and they leave. They go thing, but we stay in touch. You know what I mean? It's quite cool to see their journeys as well.
Yeah.
Kind of tied in with mine. So that's pretty cool.
I thought it was interesting what you said about when you first opened Civerinos is like, and this is like, I think something that's quite important for younger people or people that are trying to start up their own thing is that people in their mind when they're starting a business, they always think like if it doesn't work in the first year, it's just not going to work. But you accepted that it didn't work in the first year in terms of making a profit, and you're having to clean the toilets and everything. That's the amount of work you need to put in.
That's a hustle,
and it's all red before you see that green.
You see it like I always like to say to people, you drive a flash car or whatever. Like I was like, I'd fucking be driving that anyway. If it's a fucking restaurateur or nothing, that's the way I'm programmed now. Like, do you know what I mean? I want to do. But that didn't come easy. Or that shit, the trap, you know, like, so it's all fine now. But, you know, there's, you know, had to eat shit for many years. And that's the hustle. That's the thing, you know, you start at the bottom and you clean the toilet. I'll get fucking back in and clean them now. But I'm not fucking clean them better than anybody else. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's where we started. That's how it goes. And you just got to take everything into account. And you know, I've seen too many, you know, like my cleaner, the person that owns the cleaner is a very good friend of mine. Heidi, love you. I couldn't afford her for the first year. She's like fucking one of my best friends, and she's got one of the best cleaning, like Daybreak, one of the best like hospitality cleaning companies in Edinburgh. Couldn't afford her for the first year, and then she's like, "You're working too hard. Just fucking, we're gonna start cleaning. You can, right? We'll give you 2 days. You know, do you know what I mean? So there's just I always go back to cleaning because it's always the first one. That's but you know everything, utilities, you're just getting everything sorted. For that first year, it's just kind of figuring out who you are as a, you know, as I said, it's not right. I'm going to open a bar. I'm going to open a restaurant. I'm going to fucking open anything. You're like, that's what I want to do, but it's not. It's not as easy as that anymore because you could I want to open a pasta restaurant because I'm fucking the sickest pasta chef. I've got the best ideas. That's not good enough anymore. You need to be a marketeer, a strategist. You need to know about this shit. Like, do you know what I mean? You need to be articulate and fucking think. You know, you need to be like so many, like, you know, almost to the point where the food's secondary. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. You can be the noisiest motherfucker in the room. There's no prizes for winning Instagram. You still need to have the tangible product, to bring people back. Yeah. It's a balance. But if you know, as I said, if you've not got the full package, it makes it very difficult. And you can see the people that are really good at it, and you can see the people that are not. You can see the people that have a lot of money behind it, but not the, you know, you're values based rather than being driven by money. You know, clearly, from what you're saying, you know, there's clear values in the business. You know, like one of our taglines is like, you know, the thing like love thy neighbourhood, like community over competition. You know, the things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not, you know, but they are the kind of main things. We go into neighbourhoods and we do cool shit. You know, like Edinburgh as a community supported me since day one. And that's why, you know, we go any place and know a lot of people. Why? Because there is, you know, as much as it's a transient city of tourists and students, there's a fucking core, probably a fucking like good people that work at it, and you know, and it's a small enough city that you get to know everyone. Mm-hmm. It's a small enough city. I bet you feel like, you know, every street you go down, you bump into somebody. But it's a small enough city that you get to know it. It's a small enough city that if you do good, you know, the thing. But if you do bad, that will spread fat. Like like dodgy business. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like shit travel. Like shit rolls down fat hell fast. So it's that, you know, it's that small enough city that you've got to be, you know, you've got to be good. You've got to be, because people, you know, remember. Judge you on it, like, do you know what I mean? So you've got to keep those things in mind. Mm-hmm. It's like your standard principles. Someone, you do something good, someone will tell maybe one person. If you do something bad, they're telling everyone they know. Yeah. Well, it's that whole thing is that you always forget what someone did, but you never forget how they made you feel. Yeah. And that's what we always train people when they're like, whether it's the bartenders or floor staff in here, the other places, like, just be fucking good, man. Like, some people, especially just now, it's difficult because people are like, the universe, the everybody outside just now have just had a hard year. Everybody's got their own tails of woe. It's hard. It's hard listening to people. People are looking to offload, looking for affirmation. They're upset. They're depressed. People with mental health issues historically are suffering. People that have never had mental health issues are struggling. You know, it's the thing. So, and what's happening is a lot of people in retail and hospitality are just getting the brunt of, or phone centres are just getting the brunt of that because people are needing offloads, and it's, you know, it's a scary place out there just now. So we're finding that a lot. We're doing a lot of like training and chatting on that just now, just keeping the staff ready for it, because you know people on the phone, people that email, and abuse. It's just there's a lot of tension out there just now. Trying to diffuse it and, you know, protect ourselves, because it's you become quite porous. You know, you just absorb all that negative energy, and it's hard.
It's been an interesting time. I'm a supervisor up at All Bar One on George Street, and one thing I've been surprised about is that people haven't been coming in and being cunts. Yeah, people have actually been generally really nice, and if anything, nicer, because.
Well, see, I think it's either all sugar or it's all shit. I think there's people that are just like so grateful, and like, oh, thank you guys are the best, and thank you for, you know, or they're just like, you know, they've been locked up for 9 months working for standard, like, I want fucking pizza. There was a guy fucking verbally abusing me. I kind of jumped in. I've got access to all the company emails, and all the shops have their own emails. And there was a guy complaining about, and it was minimal. It was like his friend got a pizza and Deliveroo delivered upside down or something. Deliveroo. Necessary evil. We'll get to that. And you know, I was all right, and I kind of came with this kind of whole friendly approach to his email, and he went at me, and it was like verbal abuse in this email, and I was like, mate,
How bad are we took
like bad? And I was like, you know, like if I met him in a car park, like you would say that to me, like, you know, and I was like, you need to, like, you know, and I was like, oh, this, and I was like, and do you know what, I had to take, like, you know, normally I fucking thrive, like, because I you know, it's just who I am. I want to engage and find out and get to the bottom. But this guy was just like so what, right? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this one.
can you deal with this, please?
There's somebody last week, local to here, that actually they got in touch. They had something wrong with the pizza, and they were going to shame us online if we didn't give them like 10 pizzas for. It was obviously shared accommodation for students, and they were going to shame us.
Cheeky.
Yeah, they were going to shame us online if we didn't give, like, we want 10 pizzas, or we're going to post the pictures on Facebook. And again, the picture, again, I think delivery delivered upside down, and it was a mess. It was a bad delivery, you know.
Yeah.
But we deal with the hospitality, so they were refunded instantly. Do you know what I mean? And we'll send you a couple of pizzas next time to show you that's not reflective of our values or our standards. We are good at, in fact, we're the best at what we do. And we're sorry you had this experience. Fine, okay, and we do that. And I will eat shit with every complaint because it's my business, it's my name above the door. I fucking love my point, and I love, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and ask it like it should be this good all the time. You had a bad experience. No, now as a restaurateur or working the bar, like, you know, you see an unhappy person, and like at the table you can go and you can finesse them. What happened? What's wrong? It's just like taking this, and
absolutely.
They are not leaving this fucking restaurant or this bar until they are happy, because you've got. Because we've had to learn this whole delivery game since March, you know, you're not getting that chance. People are getting it. They're seeing it on Instagram, like, that's fucking amazing, 1,000 likes, and then they're like, this is a pile of shit, and you don't get another chance. And we're finally figuring out how to learn it, because it's learning a whole new sport. It's fucking hard because people are just, and again, we're saying people are so wound up just now. They're, you know, it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to them. You know, they're fucking. So, you know, we're doing a lot, you know, and just try to get that complaint process right. Not that it happens a lot, but it does happen. Like, I want to be the guy that makes your fucking dinner, not the guy that ruins it. And that's the chat we have with the staff every month. So that's, remember, there's people that have been locked up, fucking not seen their nan for Christmas, not doing that. They're paying £14 for this pizza. Let's make it the best fucking pizza they've ever had, right? Like, do you know what I mean? We're not going to ruin their dinner time. Oh, it's my son's 3rd birthday, and we're not going to Marco's, and all we had was this pizzas. And it kind of like seriously, it's like, you know, it can be the worst thing that's happened to someone. They're really done it. You don't want to ruin anyone's dinner.
You hear that? You want to cry yourself. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I've done this to you.
Like, so yeah, and third parties like Deliveroo are not helping. So they've thrived in this. They take a percentage. Their drivers are paid minimal wage. The drivers have to work hard, so they're taking multiple orders. So they're not delivering your food hot. They're not taking the care because they don't work for you. Like it's you know, but they're a necessary evil because a lot of people know Deliveroo, they don't know Chevrino, they don't know the street. You know, they're just going on there and they're going shopping. You know, and so you kind of have to be there, but it's counterproductive for the brand. So we spend a lot of time managing their mistakes. Don't know how I got like that, but yeah, crazy people. People are unhappy.
Yeah, I suppose it's like that's just one of the external factors for this, like this business and all the other businesses that you just need to manage, because everyone knows Deliveroo and Just Eat and you know, Uber Eats and these delivery services. Yeah. So it's just
they're a necessary evil. You know. Yeah, they're a necessary evil right now. But I think the operators in Edinburgh should get together and start their own one. Maybe somebody should do that. They start their own one, so they get together. So again, these guys are taking a healthy cut, and for some people, it's the only profit they would be making. Yeah,
it'd be good if it would, like you say, just an Edinburgh thing.
Yeah, and you know, all the best brands there, because right now, and the drivers that look, as I said, because the riders during like dinner time, they've got to do X amount of like things to make their weight, like to make their minimum wage or beyond. So they've got, so they'll maybe pick up from us, they'll pick up from El Cartel, they'll pick up from there. And it's not necessarily their fault, but it's the way this fucking, you know, like Skynet type company have got it set up, and again, your food's not getting, you know, it's not as good as it could be, and it's bad for the customer. The customers are paying them, the restaurant are paying them, you know, they're making a lot of money, and they're not. And when we give them feedback, they're like, oh, you know, you can put reheat instructions on your food, and I was like, yeah, but we're paying you to fucking deliver it hot. The customer is paying also to deliver it hot. You're getting paid twice the same delivery.
Yeah.
Just do it right. That's where we're at. Again, 2020, like setting new problems to figure out.
But that's only 2% of the whole picture type thing. These complaints you're talking about, you know, it's obviously a big problem, but you need to look at the positive as well. Like, you've got a great brand.
Oh yeah, true. And
lots of happy customers.
And the positive, you know, like we developed at the start of lockdown, we were closing 2 restaurants here, And I had tons of stuff in the fridges, so I was like, "Oh, the fuck am I going to do all this?" Because like, we didn't know what was happening. So I packaged it in the boxes, and we did the DIY pizza kit. Bake, do it yourself. So it's like 4 do it yourself. So there's like 4 dough balls, sugo, cheese, and I had 50 in my car. It was like day 1 of lockdown. This is the Tuesday. We didn't went lockdown the Monday night, and I had 50 in my car. I just drove around Edinburgh, like giving them out to people, like people that I knew that either like had families that lost their jobs, like self-employed people. Just fucking gave them out. It was like fucking it was great fun. And then they just like blew up on Instagram. Everybody's like fucking making pizza. Lockdown day 1, it was that kind of good for them. And then by 4 months later, we sold $16,000 over Scotland. So we're dropping it in West Lothian, Fife, East Lothian every week. Just me and the staff. We made them here. Had a couple of people that were high risk that worked from home and just did the sales. We fucking killed it. Like, it was like the best fun ever. And what was happening is these people were like fucking locked up for the first time in life with their kids and their partner. And you do it's hard work. You're not got school to like break away the day. So you're like delivering these packages, and people like teary on their door, and then they're having this like activity around dinner time with their kids.
Amazing.
Like, and it just. And then tons of other companies started doing it. Some of them actually started using our copy, like the instructions that me and my wife wrote at our kitchen table. Like, do you know what I mean? Which is fine. Do you know what I mean? We're all in this fight, so it kind of happened, and that was good. I didn't see it as plagiarism. I was just like, fucking, like everybody's in the same fight, and but we hammered it for months. And it was they were going everywhere, and as far as St Andrews and Dundee, and we're going. A company in Glasgow ripped us off quite like verbatim. Actually, just like must have photographed. So we made sure we delivered hundreds to Glasgow. I am on their doorstep because I'm petty as fuck as well.
But $2,000 in a Facebook market in Glasgow.
So we did, and that was fun. And that kept us moving, and it kind of grew us as a team. And at the same time, it took some pressure off Slice. And it just it gives us a chance to adapt and pivot, and again had to learn e-commerce. Like when these, because what we do in drops, we put on Instagram okay, we're doing East Lothian on Thursday, and they're going to go and sale at 9 o'clock tonight, and they go and sale, they fucking crash the website. Wow. This is great. Like, I just don't know what I'm doing here. This is fucking awesome. So we had
website's crashed. Yes.
And so we had to learn e-commerce as a team and figure it out and navigate it, and it was just fucking. And again, to be honest, I think I was just like, I needed something to do. I don't think I would have coped well being locked down, and I think a lot of people that did I admire, because I don't think I would have coped as well as a lot of my friends have. I just went out and fucking just did what I knew, like what I know how to do.
Yeah.
So we created a new thing, we sold it, and then as we got to open in August, we kind of put it to bed. I thought, that was a place and a time. It was lockdown. Let's everybody support the restaurants and the bars. And so we put it to bed and opened up for August. And everybody came back out for the it was Eat Out to help. Just everybody came out,
Yeah.
It was like fuck it.
To open the doors to light, like.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was mad. It was mad. After you're driving in a city for 5-6 months, and it's like fucking like 28 days later, and then all of a sudden it was like, right, back to normal. I was like, this is weird. Like, like this, like how can we go from this extreme to like nearly losing my business and my friends losing them? I mean, and again, it's not just my journey, it's all my friends in hospitality. You know that, like, do you know what I mean? And I was like, how can we go from all nearly fucking losing our businesses to like just fucking, like, I was like driving through one Tuesday night, and it was like the fucking festival. Like 2 weeks before, we'd been locked up in our houses, and then it was like there was fucking ghost tours, fucking like it was like we're in trouble. And then September hit and Freshers Week happened. Now I was sat here in a meeting, like at this table, and there was like tens of thousands of students like fucking like walking by. I was like, we're in trouble. And lo and behold, it fucking went to, I'm not saying it was a student, but it was just I don't understand how you can go from one extreme to the other and not expect like
massive backlash
where we are now.
Yeah.
So very strange. And at every point we've had to adapt. It's not like I'm going to stand here and go pie. We're not. We were just doing what we were told. And then the hospitality industry has been like kind of blamed for a lot of it, but I just think it's part of a bigger picture. But we are suffering now, and I think it's quite it's demoralising for a lot of people in the industry, a lot of their staff. It's not just me as an owner. It's me, my manager, my staff, my KP, my bartender, like everybody. We got to get in touch with every week and go like, we're still like, and I think a lot of them, I have to get in touch weekly. We're still in the fight. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This to ensure. It's not going to be like, I honestly don't think it's going to be like, oh right, fucking Mark, whatever, just switch a key and everybody opens back up. It costs money to fill the fridges. Get the fucking gas turned back on. Do you know what I mean? Everything, I put it as like 3-4 grand just to open this place back up. You know, bigger places like where you work will be fucking like far more. Do you know what I mean? It's going to take time. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
But do you, it's that thing. Do you stay closed and not make any money and not be there, or do you stay open and spend the money and get the small amount of clients?
Aye. So right now, you know, we've operated. You know,
customers, not clients. Sorry. Clients,
aye. You know, we're paying full rent on all our places, so we have to. This place, it's easier for it to stay closed. There's not enough people. The students have left. This very much, you know, there's, you know, when this place works really well with Airbnbs, and then when the students aren't here, students are here most of the year, when the student accommodation goes into the thing, and lots of families go for walks off Arthur Street on Sunday at the weekend, use it, you know, very much neighbourhood pub. This is a kind of neighbourhood that is predominantly transient, so not much point having it. So bang. So put to sleep, we use it for production, and we do bits and pieces, and all the staff from here are actually housed and now working in the other places that are open, and we're just trying to take on that delivery and collection market, especially now with another lockdown. So, but it's making those decisions on a week to week basis. Right, open, close, open. Like,
high pressure.
Aye, like not like you know, what fucking shoes we'll wear today. It's like, right, we're gonna fucking open, like you know, and do that. We make those redundant. No, we're gonna fucking we'll put them to work there, and they can transfer their holidays over. Everything, like, do you know what you're fucking? It's like you know, and at the same time, people like, you know, over the year we've got to learn about furlough and the fucking intricacies of that, and holiday, you know, and you know, but all of us have had to. You know, it's not just me. It's not. You know, it's been a collective thing, and I'm very lucky that I've got a lot of friends in the industry, and we can call once a week and go, "What do you make of this? How do you do that?" And, you know, share it. So we're all doing the right thing by our staff, and you know, to survive, and that's the main things. First, your teams are looked after. Secondly, there's something to come back to. So. That's the two only things actually.
Something you mentioned earlier on that I thought was a really good point that a lot of younger people could probably take from is how important, well, just from what you're saying, how important the sense of community is for you. Massive. They talk about delivering 50 pizza boxes. To me, that isn't something that somebody would even do. Like, you would take your time out your day. For me, and I think I'm quite a nice person, I wouldn't do something like that. You know, so it's clearly really important to you to have that sense of community. And I think a lot of younger people don't have that.
Yeah, you know, I think it's important. I think, and I don't know where it came from, but I think just you know, this is my city, and it is, you know, and I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of people, and I know their predicaments. And on that day, you know, I knew a lot of tattooists and like personal trainers and fucking things that are self-employed. I knew they were just going into fucking nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? I knew a couple of people are locked up, you know, like are completely mental. I just knew, and I was like, you know, and it was just, and it was just, you know, and on the back of that, you know, it's kind of opened my eyes to other things we can do as a company, as me as an individual, and again, it's like legacy. Like, you know, nobody's gonna fucking remember what fucking you wore, or you fucking, you know, like, do you know what I mean? Or like, do you know, but you know, if you can do a couple of fucking like, and it maybe hopefully inspire other people to do the same, and all of a sudden, other people were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do, like, do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, there's a lot of give, and not a less take, and people, you know, some people get, you know, like, you know, they. Makes them feel good, it makes the people around them feel good, and it gives them maybe a sense of purpose as well, you know what I mean? So yeah, but the community thing, you know, like as a small city, you know, it's got that. We don't forget that, you know, there's definitely, you know, because it is such a transient, you know, as I always call it transient, because there's fucking students and the tourists, as much like I fucking love, like I love the fact it's a tourist site. I love the fact it's got a fucking massive university, because it keeps everybody around it's connected, like making, like, you know, a livelihood of it in some way, shape or form. So that's good. But with that, it still needs to be, you know, we still need to know each other and say hello to each other and look after each other. Do you know what I mean? Before we all end up pushed out the city and the suburbs. So yeah.
It sounds like one of the keys to your success with all this stuff is the community thing seems to be a sense of it, and that you're, you know, you're obviously empathetic as a person. It seemed to.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's.
You just talk about plumbers and the electricians, and the community thing's really important. I think. In your picture.
I think so. I think, you know, as I said, like that's I agree, and that's will only come with age, and just seeing how people work and seeing how to get the best out of people. You know, like I've worked with people, for people that just come in fucking whack, like just, you know, fine. That's how you think. I perform better. Differently, you know, it's like marriage counsel. I think I did like, you know, I actually went on a business, like a business coaching like course like a few years ago. Because I don't know everything. I do not know everything. I'm in my 40s and I'm fucking grown this business. It's been fucking, it's outgrowing me. So I have to kind of develop my toolbox to go with it. So, and and I went on this business coaching course, and this guy was fantastic, and we talked about like the 7 languages of love, and like marriage. It's like a marriage counselling tool. It's finding the best way to deal with someone, to get the best out of them, to connect, whether it's touch, talk, gifts, just to get the best out of them, as opposed to like that. You know what I mean? Just makes the world go round, doesn't it? It's fucking happy as fuck. I love it.
It's amazing.
And on the back of that, I started doing yoga 4 years ago, and that probably changed it as well. So 4 years ago, back was fucked. Couldn't pick up my son. Couldn't ride a bike. And my friend was like, "You have to go to yoga. I'll sort it out." So I went, and it made it worse. I said, "Fuck." So she's like, "All right, so you have to try this different type of yoga. It's called Bikram. The heat and the postures will sort it all out." Within 2 weeks, I passed my motorbike test. I was lifting my son for the first time in 9 months. So I started doing it addicted, things. I started doing it's on Easter Road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fucking.
Just a hot yoga place that's halfway down. Yeah.
And I just did it to fix my back. I wasn't giving a fuck about meditation or fucking reflection, just any of the shit that comes with it. It was just like, fuck you guys, I want to fix my back. And they're like, you do some angry, you do some angry yoga. And I was like, yeah, motherfucker, just leave me alone. Over the course of 4 years, I just got right in, it found me. So I used to be really aggressive, really reactionary, really fucking. And what this taught me was just to fucking, if before in situations I'm working, I'd be just hyper aggressive, fucking reactionary. And now I take them and go to yoga and reflect on it, think in 3D, and just come out with a better perspective on how to handle things for everybody. I kind of got a lot of that. Became a better parent, became a better husband. I was better in business, and I think I got a lot from that over 4 years. Unbeknown, still just I don't fix my back, fuck this shit. But it's just time on your own, away from your phone, away from everything. Time to fucking think with your body, and just and the heat, but just your body and just your mind, and just actually focus and meditating. Fucking, and I was like, that was not me. That was not who I started out this journey to be.
Yeah, and
I found it by accident. Fucking saved me. Saved, helped me grow and develop. And I wish I'd found it sooner, because now I'm just all about it. And again, it's just that time to look in and see, how what you can put out in the universe to not to necessarily get back, but just to fucking bring light, to bring joy, to be fucking just better energy.
Yeah, for sure. People heavily underestimate how powerful meditating can be in reflection.
Yeah, and I said
mind space.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just I've got a friend, Fraser McGlinchey, who you should definitely get on this. I don't know if you know him at all. He's a professor, DJ thingy. And he's got wait. Uncle Fraser. Namaste. You should get him on it. He started this thing about mindfulness. He's looking after a lot of the bartender chef community in Edinburgh just now with different things. I think I'll put you in touch with him. But very much on that journey as well. And he can introduce me a lot to it. And just again, especially people that work in our industries and that, they need more of that because they're in a more toxic environment than most. The hours, the fucking vampire, the drink, the drugs, the fucking uncertainty, everything. Finding that balance. So yeah,
So what would you say the next something that we kind of close off on is the three most? What would you say that? So
the end of the podcast, every single person we do the three things that you would say to all the listeners, that actionable things that they can do right now to make their lives a better place,
or to help them get to where they're wanting to get to. And I suppose the most impactful stuff that's happened to you that you can say, this is how I got to where I got to. Yeah,
I know that. Okay, work harder than everybody else. Never take no for an answer, and do yoga. That's it. Yeah, work harder than everybody else. Never take, if you want something and you've got a fucking journey, don't let anybody stop you. Don't let your peers, don't let fucking the chat, the background noise bring you down. If you've got an idea and you think it's very easy to be pulled back by other people's perceptions and things, so if you've got an idea, never take no for an answer, work hard, and try some fucking yoga and meditating.
I think something else that you mentioned, which is, you talk about community as well, I'll come back to that. I know I've mentioned that a couple of times, but when you first opened 99, you done that with other people. Yeah. And how important, I think that collaboration is. I think that's an important thing when you're starting stuff, because a lot of people I'm going to start something, but they're on their own.
Yeah.
Whereas if you open yourself to other people, they've got ideas, and it's
one of my main strengths right now is that I know that I don't know anything, and I will fucking go to everybody for advice.
This is a really good point because you see a lot of people are always like, I want to do it myself. I don't want anybody to help me.
So right now, as I said, there's a lot of people coming to me for advice, which is great, and I fucking do my best. I do, but I know I don't know everything, and I'm not shy in asking for help. And that's how I got here. That's not me going. That's going to be people that I admire and respect and go, this is where I'm at. What do you think? To the point where, Billy Lowe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Billy Lowe has become a really good friend of mine. Somebody I admire greatly. He's done everything I want to do in business. He's fucking fantastic. Just a great guy. But he's also done everything. And I fucking love going to him for advice because he's done it all before. And as opposed to, do you know what I mean? We're very much maybe on different journeys, but it's good to just fucking go to those people and not pay respect as such, but just go. Do you know what? You've done it. Share the there's pitfalls, there's things that history repeats itself, and there's fucking that's the fourth one. Never be afraid to ask for advice or help. It's there. People have done it all before you, and they can share the experiences with you, and that's money in the bank. That's fucking tangible.
This is exactly why we're doing this, is to provide value to everyone.
Yeah.
Imagine 20 years ago there was something, podcasts were happening and people were interviewing the biggest people and they're sharing everything. Imagine what would change.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm addicted to podcasts now. I love entrepreneurial podcasts still. I love listening to how people's hustles have got them. Started off in my parents' garage. We sold one the first day.
It's always garages.
It's a garage.
Fucking, there was a compact computers, parents' garage. Some bike company, parents' garage. Fucking love it. I love the backstory and the hustle and the Goonies never say die attitude. You know what I mean? Fucking, we did that. We said no. I fucking love that shit.
So where I'm going wrong, I don't have a garage.
I mean, neither.
What's your top 3 podcasts? What do you listen to?
I listen to How I Built This. I listen to Ben Baller. And I listen to
Chris and Ryan show.
Yes! I do now. yeah, that's it. So I just fucking go deep on How I Built This. Brilliant. It's got stories from the guys that just started like makeup companies or surfboard companies or things, and from little ideas like multi-billion the companies, but it's the initial spark, hustle, no money, borrowing, parent giving you $50 stories that just fucking inspire me.
It's like the t-shirt brand or the brand Stussy, and they started selling t-shirts at the back of their car in the beach in California.
Yeah, Sean Stussy is one of my heroes actually. I take a lot from those kind of early like brands in terms of how we position ourselves and stuff. I don't want to be like other kind of restaurant bar brands. I want to be more like them. Love that shit.
Yeah, definitely. That's the core to this story is that hustle that you've had, from day one in the community sense, and I think that's really interesting. Is that people just when I'm thinking about it, people just seem to think, I need to try this, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's just been this constant hustle for years and years. Traveling the world. Yeah,
and that doesn't work. I'll try that. And that doesn't work. And that was shit. That was good. And it's just. And you know what? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I can at least pass on my kids. Well, I did this, I did that, and for them, you want to go to university, right? Go fucking do this, or do that, or do that. Just don't do this. And if you're going to do that, then at least work hard. And if you're going to fucking enjoy your 20s, which I fucking advocate, if you're not, make sure you're doing it productively. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, life skills.
One of the last questions I got for you is the travelling part, and you hear a lot of people. You were going to travel as well.
Still going to travel.
How important that was for you in terms of, because you mentioned that you got a lot of inspiration from it. And you obviously met a lot of people.
I got you have to, because it took me out of my comfort zone. First and foremost, comfort zones suck dick. You want to be out comfort
that's
zone,
the quote. Comfort zones suck dick.
Do you know what I mean? And you're not challenged. And all of a sudden, I was on a couch in fucking this shitty part of Australia, and I'm going, right, This is worse than my comfort zone. But what am I going to do next? You
constant decision making.
Aye, and just a bit of a challenge, and let's make it better. And you've experienced it,
and you've done this all on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. Going with friends, looks a lot better, but doing it on your own as well. Just it's a challenge. You know what I mean? And then you become more. You want I really wanted to hold my own interpersonal skills and stuff. I was never the loudest in the room, or never the most confident, or never the most thingy. Do you know what I mean? So. Doing these things on your own kind of again just adds to that toolbox, Yeah. As I said, just filling your own fucking toolbox with with stuff that's going to be become useful to yourself or others. Really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is an important thing. It's learning, absorbing information, and not being closed off to it. Being open to the idea that people will help you, and this sense of community. I think that's really, really powerful. I'm really pleased you mentioned that.
Good.
So yeah,
wonderful. Let's wrap things up.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Well,
this has been the Chris and Ryan show. If you are on socials, do you want people following you? Do you?
Hashtag.
Hashtag Cheverinos.
Just at Chevrinos, at Chevrinos-slice. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Mckayley, thanks very much. Been a pleasure.
We are
Thank
out.
you.
Peace.